Hello, Fast Signs family. Catherine here again. If you know me, you know I get a lot of quotes. I subscribe to every quote of the day, and sometimes folks just send them to me. I got a wonderful one today from Pauline McKean. Thank you, Pauline. Appreciate you sending that. But early this week, there were 3 I received, and as I got them, they kind of resonated with me and made me think, oh, I know what I'm going to talk about in this week's video. So here's the first one, and it's by Gary Klossing. He's actually a musician. I'd never heard of him before, but I liked the quote so much I Googled him and figured out who he was. Every experience is a stitch in the fabric of your character. Think about how great that is. Every experience is a stitch in the fabric of your character. And we're getting some real experience right now in the middle of this pandemic. And what that's going to do is create an even stronger fabric of our character. The next quote that I got, a girlfriend, Leanne, sent to me, and it's kind of long, but it really kind of just hit me. So I'm going to read this thing to you, and then I'm going to talk about that. This is from Ashley Hetherington. The best versions of ourselves don't come out when everything is going amazing. The best versions of ourselves come out in the midst of trial, because that's where we grow. That's where our real substance comes out. That's where you find the person you were always meant to be, the person that was there all along. Think about that. We grow in times of struggle and adversity and trial, and there is no question that this pandemic is bringing all of that to us. Now, as I was thinking about that and did some more reading on adversity, I found that, adversity causes some people to break and causes other people to break records. And what I want for each and every one of us in the Fast Signs family is to be those kinds of people that decide, I'm going to break a record. I'm not going to break. This pandemic is not going to break me. Instead, it's going to help me become that stronger person and break a record. And that made me think about my friend Diane. Diane lives in Temecula, California, Southern California area. And for years she was saying, Catherine, I want to do this big road trip. I want to get in the car. I want to start in Southern California. I want to go east down to Florida. Then I want to go north up to Maine. And then I want to come back along and hit Mount Rushmore. And then I want to continue west and hit Yellowstone and then come down the Pacific Coast, Catherine. It's going to be great. And I said, Diane, you tell me where to meet you. I will get on an airplane and I'll fly there because I have this much interest, 0 interest in being in a car trip. But for years, Diane planned this trip, and she planned it for a very special birthday year, and she planned to take a few months off, and she got the whole thing together. Now, here's the other thing you need to know about Diane. Besides going all around the United States, she had 2 things she wanted to do wherever she could. She wanted to see waterfalls. She wanted to stop at craft breweries. So literally for a year, as she's planning this trip, she's Googling about waterfalls that are along that route, along the southern part of the United States, as you go east, as you go north, as you go west, and as you come back down. And she was Googling craft breweries. And she loves how different craft breweries name their beers, and some of those beer names are so scary I'm not even going to talk about it right now. But she gets ready to go. She's planned the trip for years. She's now got her bags packed. She's had her car get serviced. The mechanic has checked everything out. She's got air in the tires. The gas tank is full. She's ready to take off. She's got several friends that are going to go on different segments of the trip with her. So she's in the car with the friend. They're starting. It is a beautiful, sunny Southern California day. It's a convertible. She's got the top down. She's got the music blaring. They're having a good time starting the road trip. And then about 2 hours in, she gets a flat tire. I mean, after all that planning, after having the mechanic check everything, it turns out she ran over a nail. So Diane had a choice to make. And that was either fix the tire, call AAA, or slash the other 3 tires and forget the whole trip. Turn around and go home. Now, Diane did the smart thing. She had the tire fixed and continued on with her plan. But there was something that she didn't plan, and that was that whole flat tire thing. And that's what I want us to think about our goals for 2020. We put together, you put together, I put together, all our franchisees had a great plan for 2020. And then about, the middle of March, something crazy happened that derailed our plans. That was plan A. But the great news is there are 25 other letters in the alphabet. So if plan A is no longer the right plan, we can go to plan B. We can go to plan C. We can make as many plans as we have to in order to accomplish what we originally set out to do. So if you set a goal for 2020 to have record sales, up 20% from last year, up 10% from last year, whatever it was, you can still achieve that. That was plan A. Now make plan B, make plan C. And during this journey of accomplishing your goals for 2020, you're going to face adversity. And what do we know? If we face adversity and power through it, if we alter our plans, if we make those pivots that we need to, we're going to develop resilience and we're going to become stronger. Resiliency is like muscle, and I'm back lifting weights again, and today I leg pressed 15 pounds more than I've been able to in the last 3 weeks. I felt really good about myself. Now, I'm not going to tell you the number of pounds that I leg pressed this morning because I just found out my chief marketing officer thinks that that's way too low. But I was impressed because it's the most I've leg pressed in years, but up 15 pounds from what I've been doing the prior few weeks. So it's like resiliency is like that muscle. The more we work it, the more we stress it, the more effort we put on it, the stronger that muscle or our resilience is going to be. So don't put your journey on hold. Don't put your goals for 2020 on hold just because of this pandemic. Figure out how you can still accomplish those goals by pivoting, by making changes. And so many of our franchisees have done that well. Instead of their outside salespeople making personal calls, they're making a lot of proactive telephone calls. They're doing a lot of individual one-off emails again and again to the same people. More and more people are implementing click to sell, right? They're taking action. We never used to think about making, sneeze guards or safety barriers or safety shields or any of those kinds of things, but you guys pivoted and you're doing it and you're doing a great job. So don't put that journey on hold. Don't put those goals on hold. Don't put that road trip, if you will, on hold just because of the pandemic. Figure out how to still accomplish it. Change up your plan a little bit and remain resilient. The third quote that I got this week that really hit it is from St. Francis of Assisi. And I had the opportunity some years ago to travel to Italy and actually be in the little medieval town of Assisi where St. Francis lived and did all of his work. And his quote is, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible." Start doing what's necessary, right? We're talking about all those things and Connect with Catherine. If you can't watch it live, listen to and watch the recording, right? All those things that are possible. Do what's necessary, do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. And you could very well have record sales for 2020 because of doing those things. The one thing that overcomes hard luck is hard work. And there's no question that this pandemic has brought us hard luck. But with our hard work, each and every one of us can overcome this business challenge that the pandemic is bringing us. So if opportunity doesn't knock, just build a door and go right through it. Your hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. I mean, that just sounds so amazing. The hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. This is a hard time. It really can become the greatest moment of your life so far. And we're here to help you accomplish that. Thank you.